Good day to you, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Hypersonic 55, and I'm coming to you with another film review. And today's film review will be on the comedy film Ted. Now, long before this film came out and I heard the premise for Ted, I thought it was one of the most ridiculous things I'd ever heard. But then I actually saw the trailer and I was like, you know what, this could actually be pretty cool. And then hearing that it was from Seth MacFarlane, creator of Family Guy, I was thinking, you know what, this could actually be pretty decent. So I went to see the film yesterday, and you know what, it was pretty good. But it wasn't as funny as I'd hoped it would be. So when it comes to the story, most of it's explained in the trailer, but for those who are unaware, here's a summary. John Bennett, played by Mark Wahlberg, was a lonely kid, and he just wanted a friend. So when he's given a teddy bear, Ted, played by Seth MacFarlane, and at one point he wishes the bear was real, by some crazy twist of fate the bear comes to life. So from that point onwards, John and Ted are friends for life, from childhood right up into their adult years. However, now John has a girlfriend in the form of Laurie, played by Mila Kunis. And she wants John to grow up and take control of their relationship, and the only way for John to grow up is for him to get Ted to move out. So then John's world starts to fluctuate as he is torn between his friendship with Ted and his relationship with Laurie. And that is the story of the film without going into the area of spoilers. For the most part, the story is done pretty well, and it has a very similar feel to Family Guy, except it's just in a more live action format. The story is full of jokes from start to finish, and it does have a few emotional and dramatic scenes that kind of works or kind of doesn't, depending on how much you kind of like this stuff to be part of a comedy film. And the plot does fall into familiar and cliched territory at times, but otherwise the story is fine. Now when it comes to the characters of the film, there's a lot to like. Firstly, you have Mark Wahlberg as John. He was great. He does have a great presence on screen, and when you see all the stuff he's gone through in his life, you just want him to find happiness. And when you see him torn between Ted and Laurie, you do feel for the guy. And yeah, I thought he was great in the film. Now let's move on to the title character, Ted, played by Seth MacFarlane. He was awesome. He was cocky, foul-mouthed, selfish, and full of jokes from start to finish. MacFarlane brings a lot of weight to his character through his voice work and motion capture that he did for the film. And I think the reason I liked his character is because he was a bit of a bastard, really. He knows how to have a good time, and all of his crazy antics lead to some unnaturally cool situations. And while he does go about and mess up a good few times, and he does annoy you on the odd occasion, you can't help but love the guy because he's just such a joker. And then we have Mila Kunis as Laurie in the film, and my goodness, she was so beautiful in this film, it was ridiculous. And you do like her character in the film as well. You can understand her situation because you see that she wants to move on with her relationship with John, but she can't because of Ted's crazy antics continuously getting in the way. And all the rest of the cast members do well in their roles as well. There were some surprising faces in there that were very familiar, and they were very cool in the roles that they were given. Now, as the first feature-length directorial debut from Seth MacFarlane, he does pretty well. Everything moves at a decent pace, and there is a number of cues that MacFarlane takes from his TV history and then translates to the big screen. The plot, the style of humour, the actors involved, and even the music feels very much like Family Guy. It's actually mad. And as I said before, there are many jokes in this film, from numerous pop culture references of TV, film and music, to verbal jokes about stereotypes, race, and some visual gags. However, for all the humour that there was in the film, I didn't find myself laughing that much. I laughed a few times, but for the most part in the film I was literally just grinning. That isn't to say that Ted isn't funny, it's just that, like when I watch Family Guy or American Dad, the humour's a bit hit or miss. You'll either laugh or you won't. And I really wanted to burst out laughing during this film, but I just didn't. Ted just didn't have that same kind of kinetic, fast-paced humour that you get from MacFarlane's animated material. So in conclusion, Ted wasn't a bad film by any means. I was just hoping to laugh a lot more than I did in the film. Again, if you're a massive fan of Seth MacFarlane and you love American Dad and Family Guy, then you'll have a lot of fun with this film. There's a lot of laughs and references all over the place, and the audience I was sitting in laughed the whole way through the film. For me, Ted is a good film, however it just wasn't as funny as I hoped it would be. For me, I'm going to give the film a 6.5 out of 10. But still go out and watch a movie, it's a right laugh. Well, that's been my review, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you found it informative. As always, and drop me a comment. Let me know whether you liked the film or whether you didn't. Until the next time, this is Hypersonic 55 signing out. Yo.